Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a topic that often brings to mind feelings of sadness and isolation. Aging. Many people see growing older as a time of loneliness, a period when friends and family may drift away, and the world seems to move on without us. But what if we could change that perspective? What if we could view aging not as a burden, but as a beautiful opportunity for freedom, self-discovery, and personal growth? Let's challenge the common assumptions that surround aging. Society often paints a picture of older adults as lonely figures, sitting quietly in their homes, waiting for visits from loved ones. But this image overlooks the rich tapestry of experiences and wisdom that come with age. It ignores the fact that many older adults are vibrant, active, and eager to explore new passions. Aging can be a time when we finally have the freedom to pursue the things we love, without the distractions and responsibilities that once filled our days. Think about it. How many of us have dreams we set aside in our younger years? Perhaps it was a hobby we never had time for, a skill we wanted to learn, or a place we longed to visit. As we age, we often find ourselves with more time to explore these dreams. We can take up painting, learn to play an instrument, or travel to places we've always wanted to see. This is not a time of loss. It is a time of rediscovery. Moreover, aging can bring a sense of independence that many may not have experienced before. With children grown and careers winding down, we can make choices that truly reflect who we are. We can decide how to spend our days, what to eat, and where to go, without the need to please anyone else. This independence can be incredibly empowering. It allows us to live authentically, to embrace our true selves, and to connect with others who share our interests and passions. Let's also consider the personal growth that comes with age. Each year brings new lessons, new insights, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. We learn to appreciate the small moments, to find joy in simplicity, and to cultivate gratitude for the life we have lived. This wisdom is a gift that we can share with others, inspiring younger generations and enriching our communities. So, let us shift our focus from the idea of aging as a time of loneliness to one of freedom and empowerment. Let us celebrate the opportunities that come with each passing year. Let us encourage one another to embrace this stage of life with open hearts and open minds. Together, we can create a culture that honors the journey of aging, recognizing it as a time for exploration, connection, and growth. In closing, I invite you all to see aging not as a decline, but as a beautiful chapter filled with potential. Let us support one another in this journey. Celebrating the loneliness in old age is often surrounded by many myths that can shape how society views older individuals. Many people believe that being alone means being sad, abandoned, or lacking purpose. This idea can create a negative image of aging, where solitude is seen as something to be feared or avoided. However, this perspective overlooks the potential benefits of solitude, especially for older adults. When we think about solitude, we often picture someone sitting alone, feeling lonely and forgotten. This image can be misleading. In reality, solitude can be a time for self-discovery and reflection. It offers a chance to reconnect with oneself, to think deeply about life, and to explore personal interests without the distractions of daily life. For many older adults, this time alone can lead to a greater understanding of their own thoughts and feelings. Instead of viewing solitude as a sign of sadness or abandonment, we can shift our perspective to see it as an opportunity. It can be a time to engage in hobbies, read books, or simply enjoy nature. Many people find that when they are alone, they can think more clearly and creatively. This can lead to new ideas, projects, or even a renewed sense of purpose. Moreover, solitude can help older adults reflect on their life experiences. It allows them to process their memories, celebrate their achievements, and come to terms with any regrets. This reflection can be a powerful tool for personal growth and emotional healing. Rather than feeling purposeless, many find that this time alone helps them understand their journey and what they want to do next. And in a world that often equates being alone with being unhappy, it is important to recognize the value of solitude. By changing our view, we can help older adults embrace their alone time as a chance to grow, reflect, and reconnect with themselves. Solitude does not have to mean sadness. It can be a rich and fulfilling experience. Solitude can be a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth, especially for older individuals who find themselves living alone. When people have the space and time to reflect on their lives without the distractions of daily interactions, They often begin to understand themselves better. This quiet time allows them to think about their past experiences, their values, and what truly makes them happy. Living alone can bring a sense of freedom that many older adults cherish. They can create their own routines without having to consider the needs or schedules of others. This autonomy means they can wake up when they want, eat what they like, and spend their days pursuing interests that may have been set aside during busier times. Whether it's painting, gardening, reading, or learning a new skill, having the time to focus on personal passions can be incredibly fulfilling. This independence fosters a sense of peace without the noise of constant companionship. Individuals can enjoy their own company and find joy in simple activities. They can take long walks, meditate, or simply sit in silence, allowing their minds to wander. This quiet reflection can lead to insights about their lives and desires, helping them to grow and evolve in ways they may not have anticipated. Moreover, the ability to make choices freely can boost their confidence. When older adults realize they can shape their own lives, they often feel a renewed sense of purpose. They may take on new challenges, travel to places they've always wanted to visit, or reconnect with old friends. This exploration of self and the world around them can lead to a deeper understanding of what they want in life, making their later years rich and meaningful. In conclusion, solitude can be a pathway to self-discovery and personal growth for older individuals. The freedom to establish their own routines and pursue neglected passions allows them to experience peace, independence, and fulfillment. Embracing this time alone can lead to a more profound understanding of themselves and a more satisfying life. Donna Valentina was a 72-year-old woman who had spent most of her life caring for her family. After her children grew up and moved away, she found herself feeling lonely and unsure of what to do next. One day, she decided to take a leap of faith and go on a solo trip to a small coastal town she had always wanted to visit. At first, she felt nervous about traveling alone, but as she explored the charming streets, tasted new foods, and met friendly locals, she began to feel a sense of freedom she had never experienced before. During her travels, Donna Valentina discovered the joy of her own company. She spent her days wandering along the beach, collecting seashells, and writing in a journal. Each evening, she would sit at a cafe, sipping coffee and watching the sunset. This time alone allowed her to reflect on her life, her dreams, and her passions. She realized how much she loved photography and started capturing the beauty around her with her camera. The more she embraced her solitude, the more empowered she felt attended by the end of her trip. She returned home with a renewed sense of purpose and a collection of beautiful photographs that told her story. On the other hand, Don Santiago was a retired school teacher who had always enjoyed art but never had the time to pursue it. After retiring, he found himself spending long hours at home, feeling unfulfilled. One day, he decided to take a step back from his daily routine and dedicate time to painting. He set up a small studio in his garage, filled with canvases, brushes, and vibrant colors. At first, he painted in silence, enjoying the solitude that came with it. As he painted, Don Santiago discovered a deep well of creativity within himself. Each stroke of the brush allowed him to express emotions he had kept hidden for years. He painted landscapes, portraits, and abstract pieces that reflected his thoughts and feelings. The more he painted, the more he felt alive. His art became a way for him to connect with himself and the world around him. Eventually, he shared his work with friends and family who encouraged him to showcase his paintings in a local gallery. This experience not only brought him joy but also a sense of community and connection with others who appreciated his art. Both Donna Valentina and Don Santiago found that solitude was not something to fear, but rather a powerful tool for self-discovery and creativity. Through their journeys, they unlocked new passions and renewed their sense of purpose. Their stories remind us that sometimes stepping away from the noise of everyday life can lead to profound transformation and joy. Living alone in old age can sometimes feel lonely, but there are many practical strategies to help maintain both mental and physical well-being. One of the most important things is to establish daily routines. Having a set schedule can provide a sense of purpose and structure to each day. This could include regular meal times, exercise, and time for hobbies. Routines can help create a feeling of normalcy and stability, which is especially important when living alone. Staying physically active is another key aspect of well-being. Simple activities like walking, gardening, or even doing light exercises at home can make a big difference. Regular movement helps keep the body strong and can also boost mood. It's important to find activities that are enjoyable as this makes it easier to stick with them. Even small amounts of physical activity can lead to better health and a more positive outlook. Engaging in hobbies is also vital for emotional health. Whether it's painting, knitting, cooking, or any other interest, spending time on activities you love can bring joy and satisfaction. Hobbies provide a creative outlet and can be a great way to express oneself. They also offer a chance to learn new skills, which can be very fulfilling and help keep the mind sharp. Stimulating the mind is equally important. Reading books, learning new things online, or solving puzzles can keep the brain active and engaged. These activities not only provide entertainment, but also help improve memory and cognitive function. Trying out new skills, like learning a language or playing a musical instrument, can be particularly rewarding and can lead to a sense of achievement. In summary, maintaining mental and physical well-being while living alone in old age involves creating daily routines, staying active, engaging in hobbies, and stimulating the mind. These strategies can help enhance emotional and cognitive health, making life more enjoyable and fulfilling. By focusing on these areas, older adults can find joy and purpose in their daily lives, even when living alone. Living alone can sometimes feel lonely, but it can also be a wonderful opportunity for personal growth and self-discovery. Spirituality and meditation play important roles in enriching this experience. When someone takes time to meditate, they create a space for quiet reflection. This stillness allows thoughts and feelings to surface, helping individuals understand themselves better. It's a chance to connect with their inner selves, fostering a sense of peace and clarity. Journaling is another powerful tool. Writing down thoughts and emotions can be incredibly freeing. It helps people process what they are feeling, making it easier to navigate through difficult times. By putting pen to paper, individuals can explore their dreams, fears, and aspirations. This practice not only clarifies their thoughts, but also serves as a record of their journey, showing how they have grown over time. Creative pursuits like painting, music, or crafting also offer a way to express emotions. Engaging in these activities can be therapeutic, allowing individuals to channel their feelings into something tangible. This creative expression can lead to moments of joy and fulfillment, making solitude feel less isolating. These practices of meditation, journaling, and creativity encourage introspection. They provide opportunities to reflect on life's experiences, leading to deeper understanding and personal growth. As individuals spend time alone with their thoughts, they often discover new insights about themselves and their place in the world. This journey inward can be transformative, helping them build resilience and a stronger sense of self. In essence, spirituality and meditation can turn solitude into a rich experience filled with learning and growth. By embracing these practices, individuals can find peace, clarity, and a deeper connection to themselves, making their time alone a valuable part of their life journey. Social connections play a vital role in preventing emotional isolation. When we feel connected to others, it can lift our spirits and help us cope with life's challenges. Even if we cannot be physically close to friends and family, technology offers us many ways to stay in touch. Regular video calls, text messages, or social media can help us feel like we are part of each other's lives, no matter the distance. Joining community groups or clubs is another great way to build connections. Whether it's a book club, a sports team, or a volunteer organization, being part of a group with shared interests can create a sense of belonging. These activities not only provide opportunities to meet new people, but also allow us to engage in things we love, making our lives richer and more enjoyable. Meaningful relationships enhance our lives significantly. They provide support, joy, and a sense of purpose. Even when physical companionship is limited, the emotional bonds we create can keep us feeling connected and valued. By making an effort to reach out and engage with others, we can combat feelings of loneliness and build a supportive network that enriches our lives. Solitude can be a powerful tool for self-awareness and emotional resilience. When we take time away from the noise of daily life, we create space to listen to our thoughts and feelings. In these quiet moments, we can reflect on our desires, fears, and aspirations. This reflection helps us understand what truly matters to us, allowing us to see our lives from a different perspective. For instance, when someone finds themselves alone, they might think about their goals and what they want to achieve. This can lead to a clearer vision of their path forward. By examining their feelings, they may discover fears that have held them back, such as fear of failure or fear of judgment. Recognizing these fears is the first step in overcoming them. Instead of letting these fears control their actions, individuals can learn to face them, building emotional resilience in the process. Moreover, solitude encourages us to connect with our inner selves. It allows us to ask important questions. What do I really want? What makes me happy? What are my values? By answering these questions, we can align our actions with our true selves, leading to a more intentional way of living. This clarity can help us make better decisions, as we are more aware of what we need and want. In moments of reflection, individuals can also practice gratitude. By focusing on what they appreciate in their lives, they can shift their mindset from one of lack to one of abundance. This shift can enhance emotional resilience, making it easier to cope with challenges and setbacks. Ultimately, solitude does not have to be a lonely experience. Instead, it can be a time of growth and understanding. By embracing these moments, individuals can transform solitude into a catalyst for personal development, leading to a life that is more aligned with their true selves. This journey of self-discovery can foster a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment, allowing people to navigate life with greater confidence and clarity. Solitude can be a powerful force in the lives of older individuals, transforming the later years into a time of freedom and discovery. As people age, they often find themselves free from the pressures and expectations that once shaped their lives. This newfound solitude allows them to step away from the roles they played in their careers and families, giving them the chance to explore who they truly are. In this quiet space, older adults can live authentically, making choices that reflect their true desires rather than what society expects of them. They can pursue hobbies they never had time for, travel to places they've always wanted to see, or simply enjoy the peace of their own company. This period of life can become a canvas for new experiences, where they can learn, grow, and find joy in ways they may not have imagined before. Solitude also encourages reflection, allowing individuals to look back on their lives with a sense of clarity. They can appreciate their journey, learn from their past, and embrace the present with open hearts. This can lead to a deeper understanding of themselves and what brings them happiness. By letting go of societal norms, older adults can redefine what it means to age, seeing it not as a decline, but as an opportunity for liberation and exploration. In this way, solitude becomes a gift, offering a chance to live fully and meaningfully. It invites older individuals to embrace their uniqueness and to seek out experiences that resonate with their true selves. This transformative power of solitude can turn old age into a vibrant chapter filled with possibilities, joy, and a renewed sense of purpose. Embracing solitude can transform feelings of loneliness into a sense of freedom. When we learn to enjoy our own company, we discover that being alone does not have to mean being lonely. Instead, it can be a time for self-reflection, creativity, and personal growth. This shift in perspective allows us to see solitude as an opportunity rather than a burden. As we age, we have the choice to shape how we view this stage of life. Instead of seeing old age as a decline, we can embrace it as a time of renewal. Many people find that they have more time to explore their interests, pursue hobbies, and connect with their inner selves. This can lead to a fulfilling and creative life filled with new experiences and insights. By adopting an open mindset, we can appreciate the freedom that comes with living alone. It allows us to make our own choices, set our own pace, and focus on what truly matters to us. This perspective encourages us to see old age not as an end, but as a new beginning, full of possibilities and opportunities for joy. In this way, solitude can become a source of strength and inspiration, helping us to live a rich and meaningful life. As we journey into old age, it's easy to feel a sense of loneliness or isolation. However, if we shift our perspective, we can discover that solitude can actually be one of life's greatest gifts. This stage of life offers us a unique opportunity for self-discovery and personal growth. It's a time to reflect on our experiences, to understand ourselves better, and to explore new interests that we may not have had the time for before. Embracing solitude allows us to connect with our inner selves, to think deeply about what truly matters to us, and to pursue meaningful experiences that enrich our lives. It's a chance to live authentically, to let go of the expectations of others, and to focus on what brings us joy and fulfillment. In this quiet space, we can cultivate creativity, nurture our passions, and build deeper connections with those who matter most. So, let us embrace this time in our lives as a wonderful opportunity. Let's see solitude not as something to fear, but as a chance to live fully, authentically, and freely. By welcoming this gift, we can create a life that is rich with meaning and joy, even in our later years. Thank you so much for joining us in exploring the profound journey of living alone in old age. We've delved into the challenges and rewards that come with this unique phase of life, highlighting how it can lead to incredible self-discovery and the rekindling of passions that may have been set aside. Now that we've wrapped up this insightful discussion, let's shift gears and dive into a new topic that complements our exploration of aging. Have you ever wondered about the ways technology can enhance our lives as we grow older? In the next segment, we'll uncover some exciting innovations and tools designed to support independence and enrich the lives of those living alone. So, stay tuned as we embark on this fascinating journey together. Margaret was a 65-year-old woman who found herself in a quiet house after the passing of her husband. At first, the silence felt heavy and overwhelming. The walls echoed with memories, and the absence of laughter and conversation made her feel lonely. She had always been part of a couple, and now, living alone, she struggled to fill the void left behind. The days seemed long, and the nights even longer, as she grappled with her grief. However, as time went on, Margaret began to notice something shifting within her. The solitude that once felt like a burden started to offer her a unique opportunity for introspection. She began to explore her thoughts and feelings, allowing herself to sit in the silence that had once frightened her. It was during these quiet moments that she began to remember the things she loved to do before life became so busy with responsibilities and caring for others. One day, while cleaning out a closet, Margaret stumbled upon an old gardening book. Flipping through its pages, she felt a spark of joy. Gardening had been a passion of hers many years ago, a hobby she had set aside as life took over. With a newfound sense of purpose, she decided to start a small garden in her backyard. It was a simple act, but it marked the beginning of her journey back to herself. As she dug her hands into the soil, Margaret felt a connection to the earth that was both grounding and healing. She planted seeds and watched them grow, nurturing them with care. Each day, she would spend time in her garden, tending to her plants, and in doing so, she began to tend to her own heart. The act of nurturing life around her brought her a sense of peace she hadn't felt in a long time. With every flower that bloomed and every vegetable that ripened, Margaret rediscovered parts of herself that had been buried under grief. She found joy in the simple act of watering her plants and watching them thrive. The garden became a sanctuary, a place where she could reflect on her memories and embrace her new reality. The silence that once felt so lonely transformed into a comforting companion, allowing her to think deeply and appreciate the beauty of life. Through this gradual process of self-discovery, Margaret learned to embrace her solitude. She realized that being alone didn't have to mean being lonely. Instead, it became a time for growth, both in her garden and within herself. She began to understand that nurturing her plants was a reflection of nurturing her own spirit. Each day brought new lessons, and with each lesson, she felt more at peace. In the end, Margaret found that solitude was not something to fear, but a gift that allowed her to reconnect with herself. The garden flourished, and so did she. The silence that once echoed with loneliness now sang with the sounds of life, growth, and renewal. Margaret had transformed her grief into a journey of personal growth, discovering that in nurturing the world around her, she was also nurturing her own heart. Living alone can be both a liberating and challenging experience. One of the most important aspects of this journey is the development of new routines and rituals. These practices can bring structure, joy, and a sense of purpose to daily life. For instance, take John, who found himself breaking free from the rigid work schedules that once dictated his every move. By stepping away from the constraints of a strict routine, he began to create a gentle, fulfilling daily rhythm that suited his needs. He started to wake up at a time that felt right for him, allowing himself to enjoy a leisurely breakfast while listening to music or reading the news. This small change transformed his mornings from rushed and stressful to calm and enjoyable. Similarly, Lily embraced her evenings as a time for self-care and reflection. She developed a serene ritual of lighting candles and indulging in a warm bath while losing herself in a good book. This simple act became a cherished part of her day, providing her with a peaceful escape from the busyness of life. The soft glow of the candles and the soothing warmth of the water created a sanctuary where she could unwind and recharge. Both John and Lily illustrate how crafting routines can enhance the quality of life. By establishing these new habits, they found a sense of control over their days. Routines can help to reduce feelings of loneliness and provide a framework that makes each day feel meaningful. Whether it's a morning coffee ritual or an evening bath, these small practices can bring joy and a sense of accomplishment. In a world that often feels chaotic, having a daily rhythm can be grounding. It allows individuals to connect with themselves, explore their interests, and find fulfillment in the little things. As John and Lily discovered, creating routines and rituals while living alone can lead to a more enriched and purposeful life. Arthur and Joyce found themselves at a crossroads in life, each facing the challenge of living alone after significant changes. Arthur, having lost his wife, felt a deep void in his daily routine. The kitchen, once a place of shared laughter and meals, now felt foreign and intimidating. At first, he stuck to simple recipes like scrambled eggs and toast. Each time he cracked an egg, he felt a mix of sadness and determination. Cooking became a way for him to connect with memories of his wife, and slowly, he began to find joy in the process. As the weeks passed, Arthur ventured into more complex dishes. He learned to make pasta from scratch and experimented with different sauces. Each successful meal brought a sense of accomplishment that he hadn't felt in a long time. Cooking transformed from a chore into a creative outlet, allowing him to express himself and regain a sense of control over his life. With every new recipe, he built not just his culinary skills but also his confidence. The kitchen became a sanctuary where he could reflect, heal, and grow. Meanwhile, Joyce discovered her own path to self-reliance. After her partner moved out, she realized that many household tasks had always been handled by someone else. At first, she felt overwhelmed by the thought of fixing things around the house. However, she decided to take on small projects, starting with changing light bulbs and organizing her space. With each task she completed, she felt a spark of independence. Joyce soon found herself tackling more significant challenges, like painting a room and even fixing a leaky faucet. She watched online tutorials and asked friends for advice, learning that she was capable of much more than she had ever imagined. Each successful project filled her with pride and a sense of resilience. She began to see her home not just as a place to live, but as a reflection of her own strength and creativity. Living alone taught both Arthur and Joyce valuable lessons about independence. They learned to rely on themselves, discovering that they could face challenges head-on. The journey was not always easy, but with each small victory, they built a sense of accomplishment that fueled their growth. Arthur found solace in his cooking, while Joyce embraced her newfound skills in home maintenance. Together, they transformed their lives, learning that self-reliance is not just about managing tasks, but also about nurturing the spirit. In the end, both Arthur and Joyce emerged stronger, more resilient individuals. They learned that the journey of becoming self-reliant is filled with ups and downs, but it ultimately leads to a deeper understanding of oneself. Their experiences taught them that independence is not just about doing things alone. It's about discovering the strength within and celebrating the small victories along the way. Living alone can be a wonderful opportunity for individuals to rediscover old hobbies and explore new interests. When people have their own space, they often find the freedom to engage in activities that bring them joy and fulfillment. This solitude allows them to focus on what they love without distractions. Take Carol, for example. After moving into her own apartment, she found herself surrounded by the quiet she had longed for. One day, while unpacking, she stumbled upon an old box filled with her painting supplies. Memories of her college days flooded back, and she felt a spark of inspiration. Carol decided to reignite her love for painting. She signed up for local art classes, where she met other creative individuals who shared her passion. The classes not only helped her improve her skills, but also allowed her to express herself in ways she had forgotten. With each brushstroke, she felt a sense of freedom and joy that had been missing from her life. Eventually, she transformed a corner of her apartment into a personal studio filled with canvases and colors. This space became her sanctuary, where she could lose herself in her art for hours. On the other hand, Bill discovered a new passion for bird watching. After his children moved out, he found himself with more time on his hands. One sunny morning, he decided to take a walk in the nearby park. As he strolled, he noticed the beautiful birds flitting from tree to tree. Intrigued, he began to learn about different species and their habits. Bill bought a pair of binoculars and a bird guidebook, and soon he was spending his mornings in the park, observing and noting the various birds he encountered. This new hobby provided him with a sense of peace and purpose. He found joy in the simple act of watching nature, and it became a meditative practice for him. The solitude of his walks allowed him to reflect and appreciate the beauty around him. Both Carol and Bill illustrate how living alone can lead to personal growth and fulfillment. Their journeys show that solitude can create the freedom to engage in creative or peaceful pursuits, allowing individuals to reconnect with their passions or discover new ones. In their own ways, they found happiness and purpose through the activities they loved, proving that being alone can be a time of exploration and joy. Living alone can often seem daunting, but for many, it opens up a unique opportunity to cultivate deeper and more intentional social connections. Take Doris, for example. After moving into her own place, she found herself reaching out to her daughter more frequently. They began having regular phone calls, which turned into meaningful conversations. These chats allowed them to share their lives in a way that felt more personal and connected. Without the distractions of daily life, Doris could focus entirely on her daughter, listening and sharing in a way that strengthened their bond. This newfound routine not only brought them closer, but also gave Doris a sense of purpose and joy. Similarly, James discovered that living alone gave him the chance to reconnect with friends he had lost touch with over the years. He started hosting weekly game nights at his home, inviting friends over to enjoy laughter and friendly competition. These gatherings became a highlight of his week, allowing him to nurture friendships that had faded. The solitude of his living situation provided the perfect backdrop for these social events, where he could create a warm and inviting atmosphere. James found that by taking the initiative to bring people together, he was able to reignite his social life and foster a sense of community. In both Doris's and James's stories, solitude played a crucial role in enabling them to focus on what truly mattered: their relationships. Living alone allowed them the space to reflect on their connections and prioritize the people they cared about. It became clear that solitude does not have to mean loneliness. Instead, it can be a fertile ground for meaningful interactions. By carving out time for regular communication and social gatherings, both Doris and James transformed their lives, proving that living. Anna often found herself enveloped in a heavy silence that felt oppressive at times. The quietness of her home echoed her feelings of loneliness, making her acutely aware of the absence of companionship. However, as she sat with a warm cup of tea, watching the sun dip below the horizon, she began to see this silence in a new light. The vibrant colors of the sunset painted the sky, and in those moments, she discovered a sense of peace that had eluded her before. At first, Anna struggled to differentiate between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness felt like a weight pressing down on her, a reminder of what she lacked. In contrast, solitude began to reveal itself as a space for reflection and growth. She learned to embrace these quiet moments, allowing herself to sit with her thoughts and feelings without judgment. The tea became a comforting ritual, a way to ground herself as she watched the world transition from day to night. To further transform her experience, Anna sought out heartfelt conversations with friends and family. She realized that sharing her thoughts and feelings could lighten the burden of loneliness. These connections reminded her that she was not alone in her struggles. Each conversation became a thread that wove her closer to others, creating a tapestry of support and understanding. In addition to reaching out, Anna also found fulfillment in volunteering. Helping others brought her joy and a sense of purpose. It shifted her focus from her own feelings of isolation to the needs of those around her. Through this service, she discovered that connection could be found in the simplest acts of kindness, and her heart began to open to the world again. As Anna embraced solitude, she found that it fostered a deeper understanding of herself. She reflected on her dreams, fears, and aspirations, allowing her to grow in ways she had never imagined. The quiet moments became opportunities for self-discovery, and she learned to appreciate her own company. The oppressive silence transformed into a sanctuary where she could explore her thoughts and feelings freely. In time, Anna realized that solitude was not something to fear, but rather a gift that offered clarity and connection. By distinguishing between loneliness and solitude, she cultivated a life rich with meaningful relationships and personal growth. The sunsets, once a reminder of her isolation, became symbols of hope and renewal, illuminating her path forward. Through her journey, Anna learned that embracing solitude could lead to profound reflection and a deeper connection with herself and others. The oppressive silence that once weighed her down became a source of strength, guiding her toward a more fulfilling life. Living alone offers a unique opportunity for individuals to create spaces that truly reflect their identities. Take Paul, for example. When he moved into his apartment, he saw it as a blank canvas, ready to be transformed into a personal sanctuary. He filled the walls with vintage movie posters that reminded him of his favorite films and the emotions they stirred within him. Each poster told a story, showcasing not just his love for cinema, but also his appreciation for the art and nostalgia that these films represented. In addition to the posters, Paul curated a collection of books that spoke to his interests and passions. Each book on the shelf was carefully chosen, representing different chapters of his life and the ideas that inspired him. This collection became more than just a display. It was a reflection of who he was and what he valued. When friends visited, they could see his personality shining through the carefully arranged items in his home. Crafting a personalized living environment like Paul did provides comfort and a sense of belonging. It allows individuals to express their individuality in a tangible way. Every corner of the apartment, from the cozy reading nook to the vibrant artwork, tells a part of Paul's story. Living alone gives him the freedom to make choices that resonate with him, creating a space that feels safe and welcoming. In this way, Paul's apartment is not just a place to live. It is a true reflection of his identity, filled with memories and passions that bring him joy. This personal touch transforms a simple living space into a sanctuary where he can relax and be himself. Living alone empowers individuals to shape their environments, making them feel more at home and connected to who they are. Marianne had always imagined her later years would be filled with quiet moments at home, perhaps knitting or tending to her garden. But after losing her husband, she found herself at a crossroads. Instead of retreating into solitude, she decided to embrace the unknown. With a heart full of hope and a spirit eager for adventure, she booked a trip to Italy, a place she had always dreamed of visiting. As she stepped off the plane in Rome, Marianne felt a rush of excitement. The vibrant streets, the aroma of fresh pasta, and the lively chatter of locals filled her with energy. She was no longer just a widow, she was a traveler ready to explore. Each day brought new experiences. She wandered through ancient ruins, marveled at stunning art, and savored gelato in the sun. Marianne also took on the challenge of learning Italian. At first, the language felt like a puzzle, but she approached it with curiosity. She practiced with shopkeepers, joined a local class, and even made friends with a group of young travelers who shared her passion for adventure. They laughed together, exchanged stories, and celebrated the joy of discovering a new culture. Through these connections, Marianne realized that aging did not mean fading away. Instead, it was an opportunity to grow and learn. She found herself more open to new ideas and experiences than ever before. Each conversation, each meal, and each sunset felt like a gift. As her trip came to an end, Marianne reflected on how living alone had transformed her perspective on aging. It was no longer something to fear, but a chance to embrace life with courage and curiosity. She returned home with a heart full of memories and a renewed sense of purpose. Marianne's journey taught her that aging can be vibrant and liberating. It is a time to seek adventure, connect with others, and discover new passions. With each step she took, she found that life was not just about the years behind her, but about the adventures still waiting ahead. Sandra had always been a private person, finding comfort in her own company. Living alone, she often felt a mix of peace and loneliness. As she approached her late 40s, thoughts about aging began to creep into her mind. She worried about what it meant to grow older and how loneliness might wrap around her like a heavy blanket. To confront these fears, she decided to start journaling. Each evening, Sandra would sit at her small kitchen table, a warm cup of tea beside her, and pour her thoughts onto the pages. At first, it was difficultly tenant. She wrote about her fears of aging, the worry that she might become invisible to the world. But as she continued, something shifted. She began to embrace her vulnerability, realizing that these feelings were part of being human. Writing about her fears allowed her to see them clearly, and in doing so, they lost some of their power over her. Through her journaling, Sandra discovered that she was not alone in her feelings. She started to write about her desire for connection, the longing for friendships that felt deeper and more meaningful. This realization sparked a change in her. Instead of hiding away, she began to reach out to others. She joined a local book club and attended community events where she met people who shared her interests and fears. As she opened up to new connections, Sandra found that many others were also grappling with similar feelings of loneliness and the challenges of aging. These shared experiences created a bond among them. They supported one another, sharing stories and laughter. And slowly, Sandra felt her isolation begin to fade. Embracing her vulnerability had transformed her life. She learned that it was okay to ask for help and to seek companionship. Through her journey, Sandra not only confronted her fears, but also discovered a deeper understanding of herself. She realized that living alone did not have to mean being lonely. Instead, it could be a time for growth, self-acceptance, and building meaningful relationships. By embracing her vulnerability, she opened the door to a world of connection and support, turning what once felt like a burden into a beautiful opportunity for personal growth. Eleanor lived alone in a cozy little apartment filled with plants and books. At first, she felt a bit lonely, but as time passed, she discovered a new way to see the world around her. Living by herself allowed her to slow down and truly appreciate the small moments that often go unnoticed. Every morning, Eleanor made it a ritual to brew her favorite coffee. As the rich aroma filled her kitchen, she would take a moment to breathe deeply, savoring the warmth of the mug in her hands. She would sit by the window, watching the world wake up outside. The sunlight would spill into her space, and she found joy in the simple act of sipping her coffee while listening to the birds chirping. Each sip felt like a little celebration, a reminder to be grateful for the day ahead. Eleanor also started practicing daily gratitude. She kept a small journal where she wrote down 3 things she was thankful for each day. Sometimes it was the taste of her morning coffee. Other times it was the laughter of children playing in the park nearby. This practice helped her focus on the beauty in her life, no matter how small. It was as if she was training her mind to find joy in the ordinary. Her walks became another cherished part of her routine. Each afternoon, she would step outside, taking her time to stroll through the neighborhood. She noticed the changing leaves, vibrant reds and yellows painting the trees. The crisp air felt refreshing against her skin, and she would often stop to admire the beauty around her. She greeted her neighbors with a smile, enjoying the brief exchanges that brightened her day. These small interactions made her feel connected. Even in her solitude, Eleanor learned that living alone didn't mean being lonely. Instead, it gave her the space to celebrate life's smallest pleasures. She found happiness in the quiet moments, the gentle rustle of leaves, and the warmth of the sun on her face. Each day became an opportunity to appreciate the little things that made life special. Through her journey, Eleanor discovered that solitude could be a gift. It encouraged her to slow down, to notice, and to celebrate the beauty in everyday life. In her own company, she found a deeper appreciation for the world around her, and in that, she found joy. Living alone in old age can be a deeply enriching experience, filled with opportunities for self-discovery and personal growth. As we navigate this stage of life, we often find ourselves reflecting on who we are and what truly matters to us. This journey of self-exploration can lead to a newfound sense of independence, allowing us to make choices that align with our values and desires without the influence of others. In solitude, we have the chance to cultivate intentional relationships. We can choose to connect with those who uplift us and bring joy into our lives rather than simply maintaining connections out of obligation. This intentionality fosters deeper bonds and enriches our social circles, reminding us that quality often outweighs quantity when it comes to friendships. Moreover, living alone encourages us to find beauty in life's simplest moments, whether it's savoring a cup of tea in the morning sun, tending to a garden, or enjoying a good book. These small pleasures can bring immense joy and fulfillment. Embracing solitude allows us to slow down and appreciate the world around us, transforming ordinary experiences into extraordinary memories. As we reflect on these enriching experiences, it becomes clear that solitude is not something to fear, but rather an opportunity for transformation. It invites us to embrace our independence, nurture meaningful relationships, and discover the beauty that surrounds us every day. So, let us welcome this phase of life with open arms, recognizing that living alone can be a powerful journey of self-discovery and joy. Thank you so much for joining us in that exploration of our main topic. We hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking. Now, as we shift gears, let's take a moment to reflect on something that resonates deeply with many of us: the struggle of comparing ourselves to others and the chaos that often surrounds our lives. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by these pressures? In this next segment, we'll delve into the timeless lessons from a remarkable Buddhist monk named Hiroshi. His teachings remind us that solitude and self-focus can be powerful tools for finding inner peace and fulfillment. These ancient insights have the potential to transform our lives, nurturing our inner selves and guiding us toward a more serene existence. So, let's embark on this journey together and discover how we can cultivate a deeper sense of tranquility amidst the noise of the world. Get ready to explore the profound wisdom that Hiroshi has to offer. Hiroshi was a monk who lived in a peaceful Buddhist monastery surrounded by green hills. The air was fresh, and the sounds of nature filled the space, creating a perfect setting for meditation and reflection. Hiroshi dedicated his life to the teachings of Buddhism, spending his days studying ancient texts, practicing mindfulness, and helping others in the community. He found joy in the simple moments, like watching the sunrise or listening to the rustle of leaves in the wind. However, despite his devotion, Hiroshi often struggled with feelings of self-doubt during meditation. As he sat quietly, focusing on his breath, he couldn't help but notice the progress of his fellow monks. Some seemed to reach deep states of peace and understanding with ease, while Hiroshi felt stuck. Unable to quiet his mind, he would glance at their serene faces and feel a wave of frustration wash over him. Why was it so hard for him? Why couldn't he find the same calmness they did? This constant comparison led to inner turmoil, and instead of feeling connected to his practice, he became anxious and restless. Each time he sat down to meditate, he worried about how he measured up against others. The very act of seeking peace became a source of stress. He wanted to be content with his journey, but the shadows of doubt loomed large in his mind. Hiroshi knew that Buddhism taught acceptance and compassion, not just for others but for oneself. He reminded himself that everyone's path was different, and that true progress was not about being better than someone else, but about being better than he was yesterday. Slowly, he began to shift his focus from comparison to gratitude, appreciating the small steps he took each day. With time, he learned to embrace his own journey, finding solace in the knowledge that every moment of struggle was a part of his growth. Through this process, Hiroshi discovered that the heart of his practice was not just about achieving a state of calm, but about understanding and accepting himself fully. He learned to let go of the distractions and find peace within, allowing his spirit to flourish in the serene hills of his monastery. Hiroshi often found himself caught in a web of comparison. Every time he looked at his friends or even strangers, he measured his worth against theirs. If someone had a better job, a nicer car, or seemed happier, he felt a pang of frustration. This habit of comparing himself to others became a constant source of envy. He would think, "Why can't I have what they have?" Or, "What am I doing wrong?" These thoughts clouded his mind, making it hard for him to appreciate his own life. As he continued down this path, Hiroshi noticed that his contentment began to slip away. Instead of feeling grateful for what he had, he focused on what he lacked. This mindset created a barrier on his spiritual journey. He wanted to find peace and happiness within himself, but the comparisons pulled him in the opposite direction. He felt like he was running a race where the finish line kept moving further away, and no matter how hard he tried, he could never catch up. Hiroshi's inner struggle was not just about material things. It seeped into his relationships and self-worth. He would see friends achieving milestones and feel a sense of inadequacy. This led to feelings of isolation, as he often withdrew from social gatherings, fearing that he would only feel worse. The joy of celebrating others' successes was overshadowed by his own feelings of failure. This cycle of comparison and envy created obstacles that made it difficult for Hiroshi to connect with his true self. He longed for spiritual growth, but his mind was too busy measuring his life against others. He realized that to move forward, he needed to let go of these comparisons and focus on his own journey. It was a challenging realization, but he understood that true contentment could only come from within, not from how he stacked up against others. In the end, Hiroshi's struggle was a lesson in self-acceptance. He learned that everyone has their own path, and comparing himself to others only led to frustration and unhappiness. By shifting his focus inward, he began to find the peace he had been searching for all along. Hiroshi felt lost as he wandered through the quiet paths of the temple grounds. The weight of his worries pressed heavily on his heart, and he knew he needed guidance. With a deep breath, he approached the abbot, a wise and gentle man known for his compassionate demeanor. The abbot welcomed Hiroshi with a warm smile, his eyes reflecting understanding and kindness. As they sat together in the serene garden, Hiroshi shared his struggles. He felt overwhelmed by the expectations of others and the pressure to follow a path that didn't feel right for him. The abbot listened patiently, nodding as Hiroshi spoke, creating a safe space for him to express his feelings. When Hiroshi finished, the abbot began to share his wisdom. "Each person's journey is unique," he said softly. "Just like the flowers in the forest, no two are the same. Some bloom in the sunlight, while others thrive in the shade. Each flower has its own beauty and purpose, just as you do. He gestured to the vibrant flowers surrounding them, each one standing out in its own way. If a flower tried to be like another, it would lose its essence. You must focus on your own path and embrace who you are. Hiroshi listened intently as the abbot continued. In the forest, the flowers do not compete with one another. They grow at their own pace, and that is what makes the forest beautiful. You must not compare yourself to others. Instead, nurture your own growth and trust that you are exactly where you need to be. The abbot's words resonated deeply within Hiroshi. He realized that he had been so focused on what others expected of him that he had forgotten to honor his own feelings and dreams. The lesson of the flowers reminded him that it was okay to be different, and that his individuality was something to cherish, not hide. With a newfound sense of clarity, Hiroshi thanked the abbot for his guidance. He felt lighter, as if a heavy burden had been lifted from his shoulders. As he left the garden, he carried with him the understanding that his journey was his own, and he would embrace it with open arms. Hiroshi found himself at a crossroads in life, feeling overwhelmed by the noise and chaos around him. He had always admired the teachings of the abbot, who spoke of living in the moment and embracing mindfulness. Inspired by these teachings, Hiroshi decided to make a change. He began to practice mindfulness in simple ways, focusing on his breath and the sensations around him. Each morning, he would sit quietly, feeling the air fill his lungs and the ground beneath him. This practice helped him to slow down and appreciate the present. As he continued this journey, Hiroshi learned to let go of comparisons. In the past, he often measured his worth against others, feeling inadequate when he saw their successes. But the abbot's words reminded him that everyone walks their own path. Hiroshi started to focus on his own journey, celebrating his small victories and learning from his challenges without judging himself harshly. This shift in perspective brought him a sense of freedom. He no longer felt the weight of competition. Instead, he found joy in his own progress. With time, Hiroshi noticed a transformation within himself. The peace he sought began to fill his days. He felt content with who he was and where he was going. Even in difficult moments, he could pause, breathe, and find calm. The simple act of being present allowed him to appreciate the beauty in everyday life, from the sound of birds singing to the warmth of the sun on his skin. Hiroshi's relationships also flourished. He listened more deeply to others, giving them his full attention. This made his connection stronger and more meaningful. He realized that by being mindful, he could share his peace with those around him, creating a ripple effect of calm and understanding. In the end, Hiroshi's practice of mindfulness and his commitment to his own path brought him a deep sense of peace and contentment. He learned that happiness is not found in comparisons or achievements, but in the simple act of being present and grateful for each moment. This realization transformed his life, allowing him to embrace each day with an open heart and a clear mind. Buddhism teaches us that while each person is unique, we are all deeply connected to one another and to the world around us. This idea of interconnectedness suggests that our actions, thoughts, and feelings do not exist in isolation. Instead, they influence and shape the lives of others. When we understand this, we begin to see the importance of nurturing our own well-being. Taking care of ourselves is not just a personal journey. It is a way to contribute positively to the lives of those around us. Focusing on self-care means paying attention to our physical, emotional, and mental health. When we invest time in personal growth, whether through meditation, learning, or simply taking time to relax, we become more balanced and centered. This balance allows us to approach our relationships with more kindness, patience, and understanding. When we feel good about ourselves, we are more likely to spread positivity and support to others. Moreover, when we nurture our own growth, we become better equipped to handle challenges. This resilience can inspire those around us, creating a ripple effect. Friends, family, and even strangers can feel the impact of our positive energy as we grow. We can also help others grow, fostering a community where everyone feels valued and supported. In essence, by focusing on our own well-being, we enhance not only our lives but also the lives of those we interact with. This interconnectedness reminds us that our individual journeys are part of a larger tapestry, where each thread contributes to the beauty of the whole. When we take care of ourselves, we are ultimately taking care of each other, creating a more compassionate and harmonious world. Self-care is essential for maintaining both physical and mental health. It involves taking the time to look after ourselves in ways that help us feel our best. 3 foundational elements of self-care are sleep, nutrition, and relaxation. Each of these plays a crucial role in how we function daily. Sleep is vital because it allows our bodies to rest and repair. When we don't get enough sleep, we can feel tired, irritable, and unable to concentrate. Over time, lack of sleep can lead to serious health issues like heart disease, obesity, and depression. Good sleep helps us think clearly and manage stress better. Nutrition is another key part of self-care. Eating a balanced diet provides our bodies with the energy and nutrients needed to function well. When we neglect our nutrition, we may experience fatigue, mood swings, and weakened immune systems. Poor eating habits can lead to long-term health problems, such as diabetes and high blood pressure. On the other hand, nourishing our bodies with healthy foods can improve our mood and boost our energy levels. Relaxation is equally important. Taking time to unwind helps reduce stress and anxiety. When we are constantly busy or overwhelmed, our mental health can suffer. Neglecting relaxation can lead to burnout, which affects our ability to cope with daily challenges. Engaging in activities that bring us joy and peace, like reading, meditating, or spending time in nature, can help us recharge and maintain a positive outlook. When we ignore these basic needs, we may face various physical and mental health challenges. Stress can build up, leading to feelings of anxiety or depression. Our bodies may become more susceptible to illness, and we may struggle to keep up with daily responsibilities. This cycle can make it hard to find joy in life and can affect our relationships with others. On the other hand, practicing proactive self-care fosters stability and resilience. By prioritizing sleep, nutrition, and relaxation, we create a strong foundation for our overall well-being. This proactive approach helps us manage stress better and bounce back from difficulties more easily. When we take care of ourselves, we are better equipped to face life's challenges and enjoy the moments that bring us happiness. In conclusion, self-care is not just a luxury, it is a necessity for a healthy and fulfilling life. By focusing on sleep, nutrition, and relaxation, we can build a strong foundation that supports our physical and mental health. Taking the time to care for ourselves allows us to thrive and maintain resilience in the face of life's ups and downs. Gratitude is a powerful tool that can help us shift our focus from comparing ourselves to others to appreciating who we are and what we have. When we take the time to recognize the good things in our lives, we start to see our own worth more clearly. Instead of looking at what others have or what they are doing, we begin to celebrate our own achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Cultivating gratitude can lead to a deeper sense of contentment. When we focus on what we are thankful for, we create a positive mindset that helps us feel happier and more fulfilled. This practice encourages us to look inward and appreciate our unique qualities and experiences. As we become more grateful, we find that we are less likely to fall into the trap of self-comparison. Instead of feeling envious or inadequate when we see others' successes, we learn to value our own journey and recognize that everyone has their own path. By regularly reflecting on the things we are grateful for, we can build a habit that nurtures self-appreciation. This shift in focus allows us to enjoy our lives more fully and reduces the urge to measure ourselves against others. In this way, gratitude not only enhances our well-being, but also helps us cultivate a more positive relationship with ourselves. Solitude plays a different role at various stages of life, and it often becomes particularly rich and meaningful in old age. As people grow older, they may find themselves stepping away from the busy demands of work, family obligations, and social expectations. This shift can create a unique space for solitude, allowing individuals to explore their thoughts and feelings without the usual distractions. In old age, solitude can be a time for reflection. Many older adults look back on their lives, considering the choices they made, the paths they took, and the lessons they learned. This reflection can lead to a deeper understanding of oneself and a sense of peace with the past. It offers a chance to celebrate achievements and to come to terms with regrets, fostering a sense of closure that can be very comforting. Moreover, solitude in later life can be a powerful opportunity for self-discovery. With fewer external pressures, individuals can reconnect with their core selves. They may rediscover passions and interests that were set aside during the busyness of earlier years. This time alone can encourage creativity, whether through writing, painting, gardening, or simply enjoying nature. It allows for a personal exploration that can be both fulfilling and enlightening. Additionally, solitude provides a break from societal roles and responsibilities. In youth and middle age, People often define themselves by their jobs, family roles, or social circles. In contrast, solitude in old age allows individuals to step back from these identities and consider who they are beyond these labels. This can lead to a more authentic sense of self, free from the expectations of others. In essence, solitude in old age is not just about being alone. It is about embracing the quiet moments that can lead to profound insights and personal growth. It offers a chance to reflect, to rediscover, and to reconnect with what truly matters. This richness of solitude can be a source of strength and wisdom, helping individuals navigate the later years of life with grace and understanding. As children, many people often view solitude with a sense of fear or anxiety. Being alone can feel isolating, and kids may worry about missing out on fun or being left out of social groups. They thrive on companionship and the energy of play, and solitude can seem like a punishment or a sign of rejection. This fear is often rooted in the need for connection and validation from peers, which is a crucial part of growing up. The absence of friends or family can lead to feelings of loneliness, making solitude something to avoid. As individuals transition into adulthood, their perspective on solitude begins to shift. With the responsibilities of work, relationships, and personal goals, adults often find themselves craving moments of peace and quiet. Solitude starts to be seen as a necessary break